what is the make and models. This is just placeholder for all the makes and models that you can create in the system. You just select one. You can choose between search or create. If you click on create, you can say new model. let me just say Cisco, something like that, and I can put Cisco make. I can put some models inside here, and these are going to be accessible through the hardware records, and also accessible to the inventory. A lot of areas where makes and models are used, they should be able to access this. And if you want to add the models, it's a similar fashion. You just change the mode and you create. Regions and towns, it's also a similar arrangement. You can change the mode to create, and you can be able to say, let's say coast region, create that, select that, go in there, put in some places, some towns in that region. It's all up to you how you'd want to go about it. If you'd like to edit, you can also do that. So that's makes and models, that's regions rather. Finally, let's cover settings. Let's get into settings. So you've got a bunch of settings that you have available to you. Under the first section, SMS config, you can configure up to 3 reminders for your customers. First reminder, you can set it in 10 days or whatever number of days. Second reminder, let's say 5 days. Third reminder, 2 days to expiry. So it's up to you to decide which ones you're going to set. Obviously, the more you set, the more you're going to spend in SMSs. It's entirely up to you, but one of these is going to be activated by default. If you'd like a custom message to go with it, you can be able to customize that by editing the template that you've been provided, and these are the substitutions that you need to be able to do. You have access to next billing, support lines, WhatsApp support, first name, account, amount due, and shortcode. So you can write any format of message. Just make sure you keep the format of the substitution and place it wherever it is that you want, and you can customize that particular message. If you want to customize the suspension message, you also have access to a similar template style. If you'd like to customize the customer portal password reset, you can do that down here. And as well as if you want the customers to actually receive a message, you can actually be able to select that, and then the custom password reset can be set here. Hello, so and so, here is your password, and then the rest, the password section, the system will be able to attach that. So the only thing you do is just a salutation. Hello, John, or hello, so and so, you're resetting, whatever. But the final sentence, we are going to append it to that message, because now you cannot be able to edit the same entity with the system. So the system allows you put in your own version of the message, and it will append the password items at the very end. So you can also enforce portal creation. You notice that when you are creating a customer account, we had an option of saying whether we want to create a customer portal account or not. So you can decide to enforce it, and on every customer record creation, a portal account will be created. But this is something that if you do it or you don't, it does not have much consequence, because you can always create the customer portal accounts. And if customers don't even access them on the first day, I mean, they're probably going to call and tell you to reset the credentials. Or if you do have some of the other channels, we've noticed that people on WhatsApp are not really interested in going into the customer portal. So still under the SMS config, you have access to the SMS ID. This is where you can be able to configure your SMS ID. You can add as many SMS IDs as you want. You put the title, you put in the provider, you put the designation, promotional or transactional, the SMS ID itself, the rate of the provider, your current balance, and if they support balance, we can be able to update that and tell you before you send messages that the balance is actually low. Username, password, API key, endpoint, active, default, all that is available for you to actually select the settings as you'd wish. The provider that you have, you can be able to bring that about, and you can be able to add them to your account. We can integrate pretty much any provider that you have you're using at the moment, or you'd like to use, but we cannot integrate all the providers available, and then wait for someone to actually come and use them. So we integrate providers based on the utilization. So you've got a lot of people using Africa Stocking and some other providers locally, and those ones you'll find that they're already integrated. So in case you've got your own provider you'd like to integrate, we can do that for you. If you want to use our own, we can also be able to provide that particular facility for you. Let's go back to the settings. Below the SMS ID, there are bulk SMS templates. I did mention these, so I think the link is having a bit of a problem. So we mentioned the templates while we are doing bulk. You could be able to create the templates, and once you create the bulk SMS templates, you can use them to send periodic messages with ease. You can have a template for downtime, fiber cut, maintenance, anything. Just check the documentation. You'll be able to see that in operation once you fix whatever bug that might be plaguing it at the moment. The next section is on general notification. So you can switch on message payment reminder, send message on suspension, send message on ticket update if a ticket has been updated, send message on customize account activated SMS. If it's a new customer, the account has been activated, or maybe they've been suspended and now they've been activated. Whatever message the system sends, you can customize. You can customize the deactivation message. Remember, deactivation is not suspension. That's a different story. So to deactivate suspended accounts, deactivate accounts after 90 days, that's a setting you can set. Customize the onboarding message. What happens when the customer is they're being onboarded? You're telling them, hey, you're working on getting you online. You can also be able to set email notifications. If you do have an SMTP configuration, you can also activate those ones as well. So below that is customer retention. When you talked about customer retention, you talked about the settings available for that, and this is where you can do it. You can switch on customer retention, and you can decide that accounts that are suspended after 15 days of suspension, they should be put in customer retention. And then you can say retention closure, and you can say that the retention should automatically close after, let's say, 40 days of being in customer retention and no progress. So that's where you do the settings. And whenever you do a setting, you can just update it in the section. So here we've got Smart OLT credentials. If you do have Smart OLT and you'd like to have that integrated into the system, that's where you put your credentials. Pay bill, we talked about when this section we talked about when you are covering M-Pesa configuration on payment. SMTP, this is where you put in your details in case you'd like to use emails, and here you can also be able to customize your message reminder for email. And finally, we have 3CX. So if you want to integrate 3CX, here we have a guide and we have an integration script that you can download and upload to 3CX, follow the instructions, and your call logs will be now showing up on Bilasha. There are other tabs. There is a migration tab to help you migrate your accounts. You can follow the templates that are available and you can be able to smoothly migrate your data into Bilasha. We do have some batch operations that can allow you to deactivate accounts in batch, decommission them, or discontinue leads that are stale. So you notice that in pretty much every page there was a download aspect, and if you have the right permissions, you can download an Excel sheet of the data. And if you'd like to work on that data offline and then bring it back, this is where you'd be able to come back and do your batch operations. The other tab is the support tab, and this is basically how you send your support inquiries to us. You can create a ticket. You can say, hey, I'm having this problem. It's a networking issue. It's of high priority or whatever, and you send it and we'll be able to get it and resolve that particular problem for you. The next section is billing. This is where you'll be able to pay your bills to Bilasha. You can be able to top up your account using this particular section. Let's just go back to settings. So the billing, this is where you can be able to upgrade your account or top up your account. And finally, the profile, where you can be able to update some bit of your own KYC. So if you also need to access the help directly, you can click on the help and you're able to access the tickets or create a new ticket to us, and we'll be able to sort you out, as well as access any help pages that exist. And we say that if you get stuck somewhere, even these videos, you'll be able to find them in the help section. Case in point, I can click on service account. This is on the local development. Let's see what you have access to here. You can see we've got a bunch of topics in the production versions. You can be able to go in and check any one of those particular help documentations. We'll be able to update them with time, including these videos that you're recording. They're going to go into the knowledge section, and you can search for anything there in case you've forgotten or you like some kind of refresher. That is the place to get your first line of access to help. So you go there, you check the knowledge base, you get the help. If you don't get help there, then you can be able to write as a ticket. But for the most part, you find that you'll find pretty much instructions on how to execute on most of the items we've been covering in the knowledge section. The items we trained you on, you're going to find them there. You happen to have an error in your UI, or you've encountered it, then you can be able to reach out to us. But do try to go through the documentation, because more often than not, you've probably forgotten something. And if you do write as a ticket, we are actually going to send you a link to the portion of the documentation where you can be able to get the knowledge about what you're actually asking for, so that you can be able to avoid a lot of repetition. So that's it for Bilasha and what is available. We'll keep on updating these videos, making sure that they're up to date and making sure that the documentation is up to date so that you can have a smooth operation while using it without having any kind of knowledge deficiency or deficiency of technical know-how on how to go about certain things. You can feel confident that you always have an area where you can be able to go in and check, get a refresher at your own pace, at your own time, and it is very comprehensive. Thank you, and I'll be with you in the coming videos. And if you've got any questions, you'll also be able to start building up an FAQ within the knowledge base as well that will be able to help you out. So look out for that. You should be able to put in anything that you ask. We're going to put it in the common knowledge of Bilasha so that other people can also benefit from those questions. So don't shy away from asking them. Just create a ticket. If you don't know where something is, we'll point you out where it is. But if you can be able to find some time and just search the knowledge base, I'm sure you'll find it quite comprehensive, and it contains a lot of the items that you might need. Thank you very much.